wrapping our dicks in aluminum foil, sticking it in the electric socket, and a divine pops out. Where are the totems? Neon, where are the totems? What does it mean? Because that mother divine is coming out, and we're all gonna do that every time, you know this! And beyond Scarab of Corruption, beyond Scarab of Resurgence, Delirium Scarab of Delusions, Delirium Scarab of Neurosis, Delirium Scarab of Paranoia.
Necropolis sucked, but I don't need to tell you that. Everybody knows that's pretty, not even a hot take. I'm so glad it's not a hot take. Now I'm not like alone. Everybody else off having fun, doing everything else. Nope. We're all looking forward to 3.25 because if this one ain't it, it's a rough one for a lot of people, okay? A lot of career changes occurring if 3.25 ain't at least a decent one, okay? I'm not asking for the best league with PoE 2 beta on the horizon. I just want a couple things, okay? As far as builds go, I think some melee buffs are in order from what we're seeing on the Twitter. Looks like we will get a couple of those. I don't know if anybody else seen it, but we're getting dead totems, dead totems, dead totems. Every single tweet, there's a secret dead totem. Where are the totems? Neon, where are the totems? What does it mean? It means melee buffs, I hope. Can you imagine? It's totem buffs? That's what they're getting at? No, they're removing the melee totems. Okay, God bless. It's about damn time. You imagine? Instead of, on your caster builds, you linking an Arcanist brand to a curse and then a flame surge, or whatever your utility is. Instead, you get a totem. And you know what? You get another totem. And you know what? If you walk too far away from that totem, now the boss loses their burning ground. If the boss gets too far away from the totem, they lose their burning ground. Okay, if they get too far away, there goes your LE weakness and flammability. GG's, bro. Yeah, no thank you. Okay, not a direct analogy. I don't care. Okay, totem's bad. Up votes to the left. Number 2, the second thing I want to see in the patch notes. For build stuff, I'd like some Spellslinger, man. Spellslinger's fun as hell. And it doesn't feel like it's even in a playable spot. Like, I don't need Spellslinger to be number 1. I just want Spellslinger to be good enough where I can say, yeah, you're giving up some damage, but I'm okay with that for a comfortable playstyle. Because it sure shit don't feel like we're there right now. Okay, I'm giving up a lot more than a little bit of damage for a much more comfortable playstyle. That stuff's fun, man. Okay, Spellslinger, I love those. And if you remember Spellslinger, you probably remember Chaos Dot, okay? Yes, oh, the build where you get to cast 4 abilities and do absolutely no damage, requiring all the gems and socket pressure in the world while giving absolutely all. Yeah, please, Chaos Dot, it just needs some loving, man. Make the numbers bigger. Aside from builds, we'll do some game state stuff. You know what'd be cool? Some changes to tier 17s. Very brave, I know. Very brave. Very brave. Controversial. A hot take, some would say. Changing the mod pool of tier 17s. I don't know what they're going to do. I really hope and pray they do something, because it just wasn't fun, man. It's just not fun. There's just so many cringe mods. Union of Souls, Exarch Ruins, all these annoying things, like the Elder Circle, right? Like, I don't know, man. Have like a gimmick for the map if you want to have some annoying thing, right? Like, have a gimmick. Like, Abomination has it just like randomly explodes corpses. I don't know. Okay, I don't know. Don't do that one. Okay, hardcore is gonna lose their mind. Don't do that one. But if you want to have like some annoying something or another, like make it like a gimmick of the map, right? And then it could be like balanced. You can't increase the effect of it. You know, it's not like you have to constantly roll over, right? It's just like you have to roll over so many annoying things. I never even got into tier 17 farming because just the thought of creating a few regexes for all my maps, and it's not even just like, oh, you're making a regex. Like, no, I'm making like one regex, and then I'm making another regex to catch all the other mods, and then I've got to like have another one. So I'm picking up like the nice currency and Scarab nodes. It's like, sure, man, if I'm just like fragment farming, right? But T17s is so much more than fragment farming right now. If it's just fragment farming, sure, man, I'll roll the maps. You know, make them whatever, dude. Like, you know, you just pop in, kill the boss on your Hex Blast build, and you pop out. And a T17 farming. A lot more cancer than that, and I'd like it to be a lot less, okay? Whatever the hell that looks like. More fun, less hideout clicks. If you want a chaos sync, go ahead. Make a chaos sync. But I don't think your chaos sync should be us rolling maps to avoid awful modifiers. Speaking of awful modifiers, back to basics. I just want it removed. I'll be real. I want it removed. For the same reason they removed Wrath of Cosmos. Remember that keystone? Everybody takes it. You die so much more, but you get more loot. Kind of feels like back to basics is the exact same thing. Like I said in my review of Necropolis League, okay? Back to basics is the equivalent of us wrapping our dicks in aluminum foil, sticking it in the electric socket, and a divine pops out. And you might say, why would you do that, man? Why would you do that? Okay, because that mother divine is coming out, and we're all gonna do that every time. You know this. You know this. We're gonna ruin the game for ourselves if the divine pops out, okay? Stop doing this. Stop. You have to stop. We will make the game unbearable if it drops more loot, okay? If it gives the best stuff. And that's back to basics. Inventories and inventories of Scarabs. All the increased effect of all the mods you could ever want. Wow. Just wow. Super fun to farm. For a league mechanic, I would like something where you go in a map, you kill something, it drops something, and then maybe I do like one more thing. Maybe it drops something and I do something with that. And like, I'm fine with that. But you gotta have the first 3, please. You gotta have the first 3. Make me kill some shit, man, and have it drop some loot. According to the tweets, we're getting some buffs to old mechanics. It's funny. I wrote that down in the script here before the tweets even came out. But it looks like we are getting that. Buffs to old league mechanics. I love that. I eat it up. Okay, buff the Abyss, buff Blight, buff whatever the hell, okay? All the old mechanics gets a little bit of a pass. Drop some more stuff, add one little gimmick, change a couple scarabs. It's a breath of fresh air for all the Blight farmers, okay? All them poor fucks, please help them out. I'd like a button that dumps my inventory, or if you require, okay, if you require mouse movement, if that's a part of the weight, okay, why don't we compromise? We remove all the clicking and we just have the mouse movement, okay? We hold shift and we just move our cursor over the items and it dumps those, okay? Something. I need some compromise here, okay? You cannot have us farming inventories full, completely full of scarabs. We enter a map, our inventory's full. You can even essence farming. Your inventory near goddamn fills up with just essences. Every single map. And then you want us to click each and every space. Okay, maybe this is fine when PoE drops 7 rare items and, you know, 2 transmutes and an elk if you're lucky. But brother, okay, we need something. We're getting old, dude. Okay, this shit's been out right, more than a decade, right? We're gonna hit more, right? Come on, man. We're gonna be pushing. I'm pushing 30. Some of you old farts are gonna be pushing 40, and you're gonna be making us click this much. Come on, man. All right, back to melee. I just can't help myself. I don't give a shit about authentic melee. I give a shit about big stuff that feels good. You know what I'm saying? Hey, cleave? I don't need it to be realistic, okay? I don't need a realistic weapon range. I want... Okay? Bone Shatter? Is it realistic that all the explosions and all the shockwaves, I hit one thing? No, but it doesn't matter because it's got explosions and that's badass. That's cool. Hey, Cyclone? Make it huge. Cleave, make it large. Rage Vortex actually looks, you know, Rage Vortex looks pretty good, okay? Rage Vortex actually looks pretty fun. Don't touch that son of a bitch. Yeah, I just always think back to old Cyclone, man. That shit was a blast. Legion League, walking around the domain of timeless conflict. We don't even need the headhunter buffs, man. Right? It's got to be a bigger circle and do a little bit more damage. We can take care of the rest. Okay, back to league mechanics again. Getting whiplash. League mechanics. I love them once they're fleshed out. Before that, they suck, dude. What the fuck, man? It was so disappointing when a league mechanic releases in such an obviously unplayed and uncared about state. I don't know how Necropolis was released in the way it was when the morgue didn't even have enough space for you to save corpses up to fill a whole graveyard. And that's the whole point, right? Now you might say, well, you don't need to fill every single one of the graves. You want to get pretty damn close for a lot of this shit, okay? Especially if you want to make some extra copies, which you might as well. You want to mirror some stuff to sell the extras or to use them if you're doing some dual, you know, like, I don't know, dude. But like, what the hell, man? Like, you know, like, I'm not trying to be a dick. Well, do you just not have somebody at the office that's just like, hey, this kind of, you know, like, hey guys, what's up with this? Like, do we really want our players to have to sort our corpses using the Dewey Decimal System? All right, you remember that? Corpses had mod tier ratings that had multiple tiers for each mod, right? It wasn't just like plus mod tier. It was plus lightning mod tier with multiple tiers of that, multiple scarcers. But we still got like, for some reason, they made them like humanoid, beast, like undead. And it's like, what are we doing? What are we doing here? You're gonna make us sort through all this? Like, come on, man. We already got to go to like a third-party site to plan our grave out, to get the rows, to see if we're meeting the threshold, to get the extra item, and then we've got to have this on our second monitor while we individually put each and every corpse in the grave. It's just not fun, man. Like, somebody needs to be brave. Okay. No, I'm sure it's more complicated than that, but that don't make for good YouTube. Okay, all flame modifiers. That's actually inexcusable. Okay, the other one. Sure, you guys are developing the mechanic. I understand. Like, at some point, you can't scrap it anymore. At some point, you got what you got. All flame mods during the campaign, that's just tomfoolery, okay? When players can get chain stunned and chain frozen in the campaign because you added extra modifiers there, that is absolutely silly, okay? That's some shit where people are just like, okay, this game sucks, right? Imagine that in Elden Ring. Think about this in literally anything else. You boot up a game and you get chain stunned. Like, what is this? Am I booting up fucking Tekken? Okay, am I getting cheesed in Tekken right now? What do I need to not get frozen by these goats? Okay, another thing. Back to old League mechanics. I'd like a reduction in the silly mods, okay? Expedition having mods that brick your builds but aren't yellow is super, super goofy, okay? 100% chance to avoid every ailment. And it bricks some builds, man. Okay, being immune to curses, that also bricks some builds. I'd like them to be, I'd like it to be yellow, okay? Reasonably. I think these are, right? I said too reasonable. I'm not, well, PDR kind of bricks my build's damage. Like, no. Immune to curses, some shit just don't work. Ignite builds just won't work. Now, if you want to make it like, right, let's say you don't want to make it yellow. You only want to have immunities yellow. Make it like 50% chance to avoid. The hell, you could have it like 70% chance to avoid elemental ailments. Okay, it's going to be rough, but now it's still doable. Once I get that one, once I get some prolif, maybe an explosion, but yeah, immune to curses, make it, 80% reduced effective curses. All right, sick. I can curse them and my build still works. And that whole culling thing on 20% or less life, that's crazy. Okay, how that works against low life players where they just like die. Okay, change that wording where it's like cull players, whatever it's got to be. But I don't think, does Expedition really need to be just like culling low life players all the time? It's just so silly. It just feels so silly. One big one halfway through the video for some reason. Okay, a large sweep of Scarabs. I would love a huge sweep of Scarabs, but I'll go with a large one for now. Okay, I'll settle for that. I just want to go ahead and list all the Scarabs that I think are kind of just ass and saw almost no use through the whole league. Abyss Scarab of Emptiness, Betrayal Scarab of Perpetuation, Beyond Scarab of Corruption, Beyond Scarab of Resurgence, Delirium Scarab of Delusions, Delirium Scarab of Neurosis, Delirium Scarab of Paranoia, Delirium Scarab, Incursion Scarab of Champions and Invasion, Influencing Scarab of the Elder and Shaper, Legion Scarab of Eternal Conflict, Legion Scarab of Command, Soulfight Scarab of Fumes, Torment Scarab of Release, and Peculiarity, Horn Scarab of Tradition, Scarab of Wisp, and probably a few more. Now, you might disagree with a couple of these, but you sure as shit ain't disagreeing with them all. It seems a little bit crazy to have Scarabs, this many of them, that seem to not be very useful at all. Especially sucks when it's like 3 Scarabs in a specific mechanics category that are just kind of like, right? You never use them. Now, maybe like an SSF, this is a trade cuck's opinion, okay? Me want currency. Me no want delirium reward. Me no farm cluster jewel. Except in T17's lol. No Atlas passives for the league mechanic. Get that shit off the tree. Okay, if you want to make a cute little tree, I love that. Okay, Torchlight does that. You get a cute little passive tree every single time, okay? I like that. That's fun. Necropolis nodes on the Atlas tree were just so boring. Like, make it better, make them drop more, make them better. There's no choice. The keystones were like, all right, it sucks now. But you don't have to think. It's like, wow. Like, lovely. Okay. I just don't like that. I think increased effect of map mods should be removed off the tree too. Scarab drop nodes should be removed off the tree. Like, we shouldn't be speccing into these things. I want to spec into, like, I get more boxes, I get more shrines, I get an extra legion, an extra breach, right? Some shit where I'm actually going to feel it, right? Like, I spec into 12% more likely of rarer Scarabs, and I have to do like a 500 map sample size to compare and say, like, I made a couple extra divines. That node was actually pretty good. No, man, I want the breach to be faster, you know? Like, I want to put my points where it's fun, where I feel it, where it's cool. Not just like, oh yes, every tree, take the effect, take the scarabs, take the insert league mechanic name nodes, and then you get 70 points, 80 points, whatever it is to play around with for the rest of your tree. Good luck. Yeah, it just ain't fun. I don't like it. More chaos sinks. I know I talked smack about the T17 rolling, but more chaos sinks would be nice. More ways to fight inflation. GGG just made voided maps more likely to drop. That's cool. We're going to void more characters. More gear is going to get lost. That ain't a really good sync though, because it's really hyper specialized characters and you shouldn't be dying when you're farming these. But chaos sinks. I think we need a couple, man. It would be nice. Now, I don't know how you're going to do it, but don't make me fucking click once for every chaos you want to sink into the economy, please. Okay? I love the Kirek map mod stuff. Maybe you make them more powerful and more expensive. I don't know. That probably won't work much. Yeah, I don't know. More chaos sinks. They're good. Yeah, the economy is just like way too efficient. We are way too damn good at this game these days to not have massive currency sinks so that everything don't feel so insane when you hit month 1, month 2, especially in these 4-month leagues. Gladiator and Raider buff changes.
Oh, can I get a hill? Yeah.
I don't know, man. Make Gladiator cool. Maybe he reduces some of the non-block damage. Maybe that's really OP and Glad's OP or something. I don't know. Okay, that is kind of that would be kind of busted. Okay, but come on, man, give him something. Give him something. God, block feels so cringe on Glad. It's just like, bro, you play bleed Glad and it feels like that's it. Other than that, you yoink stuff on a champion or you yoink stuff on a Slayer, and that's it. That's Glad. You get arena charges on your champion. That's Gladiator. I don't like that. Same with Raider. You just yoink stuff if you're a Deadeye. Now Raider's kind of, you know, it could be kind of cool. You get to go fast and it's, you know, whatever, but I could use a little bit, right? Make it real cool. Make it even faster. I don't know. Do something. Okay, that was a ton of cool stuff to look forward to. Now that we're at the end of the video and everybody who's watching is going to keep watching, let's talk about the bad. Here are some nerfs. Okay, here are nerfs I want. Here are nerfs I think will happen. And no, I won't differentiate, so you can't be upset at me. Corpse skills are going to have corpse scaling removed outright. It's just going to be flat damage now. Pull the plug, okay? No more percent HP, no more corpses, no more cock DD or chain DD, okay? Lancing spray will probably have projectiles reduced and or frequency. Holy Relic will probably have to be Cyclone if they want to keep playing. Archmage, I imagine it's going to get some. Okay, Archmage is probably getting a little tickle. And you know what? It's going to be a little tickle. And you know what? It's still going to be fine. But technically, less people will play it just because it technically got nerfed. And that's all it takes. Okay, Adorned, I think it's going to get nerfed to be like 50 to 100 something range. Okay, honestly, Adorned probably won't get nerfed, but that would be kind of nice. Hex Blast is going to get a small damage nerf. And then everybody just plays Hex Blast of Contradiction. Lightning Arrow is going to get a small damage nerf. Seismic Trap will get prematurely nerfed just because of that one anointment, because of Jungron's tweet. Please. Please, can you imagine? And Sanctum is going to give 10% less divines. And that's going to scare a bunch of people off of Sanctum. And will hopefully stave off a little more inflation. Okay? We need the Fed. GGG. We need the Fed to come kick our door down and stop the divine printing. Stop the chaos and Scarab printing, okay? In summary, inflation bad. Corpse skills bad. Necropolis bad. Melee buff. Kill monster in map. I'll see you guys on Thursday.